Have you ever wondered why so many people seem trapped in cycles of procrastination, anxiety, and dissatisfaction? You might not have noticed yet, but the real enemy of your progress could be found in what you consume daily, especially regarding pornography and quick stimuli. Here's a counterintuitive idea. Desexualizing your brain could be the most revolutionary step you take towards achieving success. Does that sound exaggerated? It's actually grounded in science. While you spend your energy on instant pleasures like social media, sexual triggers, and high dopamine stimuli, your brain is being programmed for mediocrity. You lose focus, productivity, and, worse, control over your own mind. The price? Anxiety, depression, and a constant feeling that something is missing. But what no one tells you is that there is a way out, a way that doesn't involve magic formulas, but a powerful mental reset. In this content, you will discover how to overcome addictions that drain your energy, avoid distractions that sabotage your potential, and reprogram your brain to seek real and lasting gratifications. I will show you why habits that seem harmless are, in fact, heavy anchors in your life and how small changes can completely transform your game. Are you ready to unlock your best version? Then let's get started. The importance of focus and discipline. Imagine you're in a race, but instead of a clear track, there are dozens of obstacles like social media, incessant notifications, and even that irresistible urge to check something trivial on your phone. This is the reality for everyone today. We live in a world where distractions are so abundant that the ability to focus has become a superpower. Those who master focus and discipline have an enormous advantage. Think of high-performance athletes. They weren't born ready. They trained tirelessly, saying no to immediate impulses to achieve something greater. And you? What are you putting aside because of momentary distractions? Focus is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. But just like at the gym, it takes discipline to see results. Many people give up because they think they lack talent when, in fact, they just lack persistence. Here's a simple example. Instead of spending 2 hours scrolling through a social media feed, how about dedicating that time to self-development? Read a book like The One Thing by Gary Keller, which teaches how to eliminate the unnecessary and prioritize what truly matters. It's in these small changes that you reprogram your brain for success. Interestingly, people often underestimate the impact of discipline in daily life. See, discipline is not just about waking up early or going to the gym. It's also about resisting the temptation to procrastinate or give in to immediate pleasures. Think of a successful entrepreneur. Why are they where they are? Because instead of getting lost in addictions like pornography or wasting time on content that adds no value, they set their priorities and worked on them. You can start small. Create a daily task list and stick to it religiously. Delayed gratification is the key to true productivity. Now let's talk about impulse control, which is crucial for anyone aiming for success. Imagine each distraction is like a delicious ice cream. If overindulged, it can ruin your health. Learning to say no to those momentary pleasures is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who linger in the almost. Here's a practical tip. Try the Pomodoro technique. Work in 25-minute blocks with short breaks. This helps train your brain to stay focused while avoiding the anxiety of long work sessions. Another interesting aspect is that many people confuse being busy with being productive. They jump from task to task, thinking they're being productive when they're merely distracted. Focus is about eliminating what doesn't matter. Want a practical example? Before starting any project, ask yourself, does this activity bring me closer to my purpose, or is it just more noise? This requires practice, but the result is a significant boost in your productivity. It's worth remembering that focus and discipline aren't skills you're born with. They are built. And the most incredible part? When you start mastering this, you realize that many distractions that once seemed irresistible are nothing but illusions. Of course, there are other factors that also hinder this process, such as certain addictions that directly affect your brain, robbing you of your ability to control yourself. But that's a conversation for the next point, and it will surprise you. The negative effects of pornography on the brain. Few people are aware of the devastating impact that pornography can have on the brain. It's like a poison that silently alters neural connections and undermines impulse control. Did you know that excessive consumption of pornography wears down the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and self-control? Without this function well calibrated, It's nearly impossible to maintain focus, discipline, and ultimately achieve success. Consider this. Every time you give in to this easy escape, you're sabotaging your productivity and feeding a cycle of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Pornography affects the brain in a way very similar to drugs like cocaine. It releases a flood of dopamine, the pleasure molecule, but in an artificial and unbalanced way. This causes the brain to become addicted to intense and quick stimuli, losing the ability to enjoy simple and real things. The result? Anxiety, depression, and difficulties engaging in everyday activities. Young people report issues like impotence and low self-esteem due to constant pornography consumption. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes. The more you consume, the emptier you feel. Additionally, pornography trains the brain to prefer the unreal. Imagine a runner who only practices on treadmills but never runs in the real world. When faced with a marathon, their muscles don't know how to react. Similarly, those who frequently consume pornography reprogram their neural pathways to seek artificial stimuli, losing the ability to build real connections. This is one of the reasons many struggle in romantic relationships and even in establishing meaningful goals. A practical solution is to adopt a digital detox. Set aside a period to completely eliminate pornography consumption and, in the process, reduce your exposure to triggers like social media that promote sexualized content. During this time, seek activities that genuinely nourish your mind and body. It could be the practice of physical exercise like weightlifting or running, or even meditation, which helps to strengthen self-control. Books like Your Brain on Porn by Gary Wilson can open your eyes to the impact of this addiction and how to reverse it. It's also important to understand that pornography is not just an isolated problem. It is a symptom of something larger, the search for instant gratification. Instead of falling into the trap of quick stimuli, focus on activities that bring lasting results. This could be learning a new skill, like playing an instrument, or investing in projects that require patience and dedication. These practices help recalibrate your brain, restoring the lost balance. Overcoming a pornography addiction is not just a matter of willpower, but of purpose. And this is the crucial point. When you find something greater to pursue, like an ambitious goal or a meaningful life objective, addictions lose their power. This is exactly what we will discuss in the next point. Because without purpose, any change will be superficial. The role of purpose in overcoming addictions. Have you noticed how people with a clear purpose seem to possess an unshakable inner strength? They face challenges with an almost superhuman determination and are not easily swayed by fleeting distractions. This is no coincidence. Having a defined purpose is like carrying a map that guides all your actions, preventing you from getting lost in empty stimuli like pornography, social media, or other addictions. When there is no destination, any path will do, and that's where the danger lies. Many fall into the cycle of addiction not due to weakness, but because of a lack of meaning. It's as if the brain, without a clear direction, seeks comfort in small, immediate rewards. What few realize is that winning this battle doesn't start with willpower, but with the construction of a greater goal. Imagine someone who decides to start their own business. This purpose not only occupies their mind, but also creates a natural resistance against distractions. Suddenly, what was once tempting loses all appeal. Reassessing your beliefs is also a powerful step. How many times have you heard that success can only be achieved by following the traditional path? College, stable job, retirement. While this model works for some, it can be suffocating for others. Finding your true purpose requires the courage to break away from imposed patterns. Think of examples like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, who challenged norms and created something meaningful. And you? Are you living to meet expectations or to fulfill your personal mission? To begin building that purpose, start with simple yet transformative questions. What really makes me feel alive? Or, if I only had 1 year to live, what would I do? The answers to these questions may be daunting at first, but they will provide you with clarity. A practical example? If you're passionate about helping others, consider areas like coaching or volunteering, which, besides being rewarding, offer a profound sense of accomplishment. Interestingly, upon discovering a purpose, you automatically begin to replace addictions with constructive actions. Imagine someone who decides to learn programming to change careers. This goal, in itself, requires so much dedication that there's simply no time left for distractions. The same applies to those who choose to invest in their physical and mental health. Focusing on the long term is the greatest antidote to short-term impulses. There's a direct connection between purpose and overcoming addictions. The former fuels the strength needed to conquer the latter. When you have something greater to fight for, any sacrifice feels minor. But it's not enough just to avoid triggers. You must confront them strategically, especially in environments like social media. And that's exactly what we'll explore in the next point. Avoiding triggers and sexualized content on social media. Have you noticed how social media seems designed to steal your attention and keep you hooked on stimuli that, deep down, add nothing to your life? What you might not know is that these platforms go beyond occupying your time. They feed triggers that sabotage your productivity, focus, and even self-esteem. Provocative profiles, suggestions for sexualized content, and addictive algorithms are designed to manipulate your mind, making impulse control even more challenging. It's no wonder so many fall into this trap. The solution? Take control of what you consume. A simple yet powerful step is to perform a digital cleanse. Unfollowing profiles that promote provocative or irrelevant content is the first strategic move. Additionally, you can use the platform's own tools to mark content as not interested and train the algorithm to work in your favor. For instance, follow pages that teach useful skills like languages, investments, or personal development. Replacing noise with value is an act of brain reprogramming. Another critical point is to limit the time you spend on social media. Many people scroll through their feeds for hours without realizing the impact it has on their mood and productivity. A practical tip? Use apps like Forest or Freedom to block access to social media during work or study periods. This not only boosts focus, but also reduces anxiety caused by constant comparisons with the seemingly perfect lives of others. Less time online means more time invested in your priorities. Now, for those facing specific triggers, like exposure to sexualized content, it's essential to be even more strategic. Content blockers, such as Google's Safe Search, can be valuable allies. Another tactic is to replace the habit of checking social media with something more meaningful. For example, every time you feel the urge to open Instagram, read a chapter from a book like Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, which inspires creativity and self-development. It's important to remember that social media is not the enemy. They are tools. The problem lies in how you use them. When used with purpose, they can be a springboard for businesses, learning, and genuine connections. However, without a clear plan, they can easily become a source of addictions and distractions. So, set clear limits. How about reserving just 30 minutes a day for online interaction and using the rest of the time to build something truly meaningful? By taking control of social media, you not only reduce harmful triggers but also create space for a new type of reward, the gratification that comes from overcoming real challenges and dedicating yourself to something greater. This leads us to the crucial question of how to manage the relentless pursuit of immediate pleasures and the role that delayed gratification plays in your journey to success. Practicing delayed gratification and dopamine control. In a world where everything is just a click away, the habit of waiting to reap the fruits of effort has become almost a rare skill. However, it is precisely this ability to practice delayed gratification that distinguishes those who achieve success from those who get lost in momentary pleasures. After all, how can you expect to achieve great things if you are always succumbing to easy rewards? Controlling dopamine, the motivation molecule, is the secret to redefining your focus and reprogramming your brain to prioritize what truly matters. Instant gratification, such as watching short videos on social media or consuming pornography, deceives your brain by providing a quick dose of pleasure. The problem is that over time, this disrupts your ability to feel satisfaction with deeper, more challenging tasks, like learning a new skill or building a life project. Think about it. Would you prefer a piece of candy now or a feast in a week? The difference between these choices directly reflects the success you will have in the long run. A powerful practice to regain control is the dopamine detox. This involves setting aside a period, from 24 to 72 hours, without artificial stimuli, such as social media, music, or even ultra-processed foods. During this time, focus on simple and meaningful activities like walking outdoors, reflecting on your goals, or even journaling. This pause helps your brain recalibrate dopamine levels and rediscover the joy of completing important tasks. Try it for a weekend and see how your mental clarity increases. Moreover, reprogramming your mind to associate work with reward is one of the greatest assets of those who master productivity. Want a practical example? Before starting an important project, plan a specific reward for when you complete it. It could be watching an episode of your favorite series or enjoying a special dinner. The trick is to condition your brain to see effort as worthwhile because it brings tangible and pleasurable results. Another effective strategy is to incorporate gradual challenges into your routine. If the goal is to reduce procrastination, start with small targets like working on something for 10 minutes without interruptions and progressively increase. This teaches your brain that true reward comes from steady progress, not momentary distractions. Books like The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg offer valuable insights into how to transform this process into a lifestyle. The practice of delayed gratification is a direct path to unlocking your brain's potential. And the best part? Once you master this skill, you realize you no longer need quick rewards to feel good. Instead, pleasure comes from real progress, from building something meaningful. But before you rush after new goals, there's another essential lesson. You need to strengthen yourself as an individual before investing in any relationships. And that's what we will discuss next. Build yourself before pursuing relationships. Have you ever noticed how many people spend more time and energy chasing relationships than investing in their own growth? This inversion of priorities is one of the greatest traps for those seeking success and fulfillment. Relationships can be wonderful, but if you haven't built a solid foundation, they can become sources of frustration and delay. Before thinking about sharing your life with someone, you need to become the best version of yourself. When you prioritize self-development, something magical happens. You naturally attract higher quality relationships. Think about it. A person working on their purpose, controlling their impulses, and seeking continuous improvement radiates a different energy. On the other hand, those who desperately seek external validation end up attracting superficial connections based on mutual needs. And you? Are you becoming someone people admire? Or are you just chasing validation? Another important point is the social gap. It's not about financial status, but about being at a level of emotional maturity and development that allows you to build something solid with another person. The best relationships are not based on dependency, but on a partnership between self-sufficient individuals. Therefore, before investing time and money in dates and relationships, invest in yourself. How about learning a new skill, like personal finance or languages? Or maybe improving your physical health with consistent workouts? The return will be much greater. Building yourself before seeking relationships also protects you from falling into the trap of toxic relationships. When you are focused on your goals and secure in who you are, it becomes much easier to identify and avoid people who can hinder your journey. Moreover, you become more selective, choosing connections that truly add value to your life. Want an example? Imagine someone who dedicates their years to developing a business. This person attracts partners who share the same vision for growth. The curious part is that by prioritizing yourself, you not only enhance your chances of attracting a good relationship, but also realize that being single can be productive. Being single, for instance, is a golden opportunity to focus on what truly matters. Books like 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson offer valuable insights on how to create order in your life before sharing it with someone else. Remember, quality relationships are consequences, not the starting point. When you become someone who lives purposefully, controls their vices, and prioritizes their goals, the right people will naturally appear. But this only happens when you build your foundation first. Now that you know this, are you ready to put all this knowledge into practice and transform your life for good? After everything you've learned, the most important question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue to be trapped in the same habits that hold you back? Or will you take the first step to reprogram your mind and take control of your life? This choice is yours, and its impact will be immense. Remember, no progress happens without action. Today could be the day you start building a new version of yourself. More focused, productive, and disciplined. Look around you. How many people live running after momentary pleasures, never achieving something meaningful? You don't have to be one of them. Apply what you've learned here, one step at a time. Take a digital detox, set your priorities, and find a purpose that motivates you to get out of bed every day. The most important thing is not to wait for motivation. Just start, even if it's difficult. Progress comes from movement, not from perfection. Now I want to know, what is the first step you will take? What habit will you eliminate today? Share your stories and challenges in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you want to continue on this journey of transformation, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's much more content coming to help you unlock your potential. Oh, and if you feel like your mind never stops, as if it's always racing without any real progress, don't miss the next video. We'll dive into the topic of anxiety, why it's sabotaging your life, and how to regain control in 3 simple steps. This isn't therapy or medication. It's a complete reprogramming of your mind. Stay tuned.